Now then, John, bless his heart, and please pray for him and me. We're all sinners. He enjoys raising large sums of money to go look for Noah's Ark. All right? That's the easy way of raising money for his outfit, and his outfit does good things. And I would like to see him raise money to help excavate this boat, to prove once and for all if he wants to take that approach. And I think people would give money for it just like they would to look for it, but I may be wrong. I'm not infallible. And there are occasions when I suspect the Pope might not be, especially when he says that evolution is a better explanation of how we got here than creation. So anyway, John said that I use very poor investigative techniques, all right? And, I use chemical analysis, radar, metal detectors, core drilling, and I don't know of anything else you can use, except excavation, and that's a little beyond my budget. But he made this statement. And so anyway, bless his heart. He just said, that Ron Wyatt was careless in his facts and things, and he may have believed that. I don't know. You can't read somebody else's mind. But here about 2 or 3 years ago, a fellow by the name of Selye and another guy whose name I can't remember at the moment, but they're from Sun Classic Films out in Utah, and they made a movie on Noah's Ark back in the 70s, and I think it's over the since that time, they've gotten like $150 million in revenues for that film. So they decided, hey, let's get a new one up and run it. So they called me and said, we would like to use your research in our movie on Noah's Ark. And I said, well, that shouldn't be a problem. I said, what do you have in mind? They said, well, we want to say you found it on top of Mount Ararat. And I said, well, sir, I didn't find it there. I found it somewhere else. Well, everybody thinks it's on Ararat, so, we just want to say it was found there. I said, well, very sorry. I'll let you use it for free if you'll say where it was really found. And so we didn't do any business. But anyway, they found some other people, and I met one poor geologist. They snookered him into saying something on there, and he told me, he said, if they hadn't lied to me, I'd have never said that, because they said all this had been proven and everything, and they just wanted me to make this statement because I was a qualified person, and it turns out that none of the stuff they had me say had been proven. So anyway, that's Hollywood or Utah in the movie business. So anyway, there was this actor in California here, and I think you all know there's a lot of actors. In Nashville, where I live, there's a lot of people who play guitars and all this sort of thing. They come to town hoping to hit it big, and they work in restaurants and wherever they can to get by until they get discovered, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. But this actor, Jamal, things were a little bit slow, and he decided that he would kind of take the bull by the horns and do a little something to generate some attention. So he went out and bought some of John Morris's books. Ben, thank you so much for coming, sir. God bless you. And again, I apologize for being less than polite when you said the new covenant last time, and you were right. Okay, thank you, sir. Anyway, that was a little private matter. I kind of jumped his case, I think, last trip. Didn't mean to, but sometimes I sound harsh when I don't intend to. My wife tells me this, and she's right. So anyway, Jamal read this book. He studied the maps. He studied all of this just like an actor would for a part that they were playing in a movie. Then he went out near his home and cut a piece of wood out of a railroad cross tie. brought this piece of wood in, and he videoed all of this, by the way. And he put it in a saucepan on top of his stove, and he poured in wine and teriyaki sauce and, whatever else. And he boiled this and he cooked it until it got to looking very old and wrinkled and dark and all of this. And then he took it out and dried it with a hairdryer. So then he went to Cellier, and he told him the story. In 1985, he says, I and a friend went out and were looking for Noah's Ark. We met this Kurdish fella, and he said, I know right where it is. So he took us up and he showed us this hole. We went in, and there's cages and the whole boat, was basically there under the ice and snow. And we took all kinds of pictures, and I got this piece of wood. And then when we came out, I wanted a wide-angle picture so we could find this hole again and take people back there. So I asked my friend to get a wide-angle picture. So he was backing up so he could get all of this in the frame of the camera. Got too close to the edge, and it caved, fell off, and him with it. So there died the camera and the guy and all the pictures. Well, you see, nobody died on Mount Ararat in 1985, and John should have known that, bless his heart, but I don't notice everything either, so he probably didn't know that. Now, Cellier said, well, that's a wonderful story, and, that's an impressive piece of wood or something to that effect, but he said this, he says, if you can find a recognized expert on Noah's Ark and have them to verify what you're saying, then I'll put it in my video, in my movie, right? And so Jamal went to John Morris, and he told John this story. And John went to Cellier and said, I guarantee that this man was in Noah's Ark, and this is Ark wood. And I'll stake my reputation on that. All right? So they put it in the thing, and it aired. And I think 18% or percentile of people, TV viewers, watched this thing. All right? I watched it. And so anyway, after it had aired, Jamal sprung his trap. He called a news conference. He showed them the video where the wood had come from, what he had done to it. He says, I've never been to Turkey in my entire life. I did this just to show how gullible creationists are. All right? Well, John did not ask Jamal to show him his Turkish visa in his passport. Otherwise, he would have been saved all that embarrassment. Okay? So I feel sorry for John, because it has been proven that he's careless in his research, which is what he accused me of. And the Bible does make some comments along that line, that we'll get taken in our own craftiness or whatever. But anyway, I pray for John, and the ICR has given great contributions to the cause of creationism, all right? And again, I don't want John or any of those people to be lost. I don't want anybody to be lost. Okay?
I just wanted to ask you, I've seen that tape that you're talking about, I think about 10 years ago, and I was interested in, there was a man, a young nephew that went up on the mountain there.
That was Ferdinand Navarro.